Hello, welcome. It's my second Transformers video. The first one was more of an overview and I just transformed a few select Autobots in that one. So this one is about the Combiners, which are a set of Decepticons or Autobots that combine to form one big robot. And this video is a bit long because I'm going to have 5 different sets of Combiners for this. And, I could have done them in separate videos, but I thought, it'd be more interesting to see them all at once. And at the end of the video, I'll have them all standing next to one another with a different camera angle, so it won't just be overhead. And I'll leave timestamps in the video description, so you don't have to watch them all at once. Just watch one today, maybe watch one another day. Just make it easier to jump to where you leave off. So I'm gonna film those separately too, and then just piece them together, so the camera will fade in and out when it's switching to another one. So what I have here is a Transformers collector's case. I just thought I'd show this to start, and I put the Constructicons in here, which I'm going to start with, because those guys are the oldest ones, and they're a bit different than the other combiners. And it's probably some glare on the case, but don't worry. It won't be here for very long. So this case, you can see I have the Constructicons in here, but it's designed really for Autobots, so I put a couple in here for demonstration. This is Prowl, so you can tell by the size of these that it's basically designed for Autobot cars, and Bumblebee, like these little guys, would fit inside these slots too, and you can put some accessories. So what I have now though is just the Constructicon accessories. I am missing though a couple things for Devastator, which is the robot they combine to form. But I have enough here, of course, to put them together. So let me pull them all out. Now, these little weapons, I'm not going to concentrate on transforming each individual small robot. I'm just going to build the big robots. So these are just their regular accessories, and they do attach to the they're out of frame, but they do attach to the vehicles. Like they'll have a slot where you can put their handgun on top. A lot of them have a few different things, like where you can make attachments. We're not going to show all those. I'm just going to jump to building the main guy. So each Constructicon includes, their individual accessories, and you need all of them to then get a piece of Devastator. So like one of these guys, I don't recall what comes with what, but like one would include the head piece, and then one another piece. So you need obviously you need them all to put together Devastator and all the accessories. What's different in the other ones, which you'll see, is that, well, there's Devastator 6 Decepticons. All the others are 5, with the middle piece being a larger transformer that came with all the main accessories. Then the little guys were just kind of on their own. But this one's very different. I don't have any instructions on how to build Devastator. It's not too hard to figure out, though. But the other ones, each individual little one, even though it's kind of useless, came with a small manual on how to build their main bot, and then the central piece, which you need anyway, has that inside its regular manual, and that had a full-size manual. Whereas these small bots, they don't come with much. I have part of a packaging for one of them. So it's just, the carded figure because they're small. See here, this price was $6.99. I thought they were a bit less, but I do remember buying these actually at a Toy Works. See the Toy Works price tag. I believe I bought these in Torrington, Connecticut, which is where my grandparents lived. And I was with them, or with my grandmother at the time. And of course she thought I was wasting my money on toys. So then on the back, they just show how to transform this one being Hook. But they don't show you a Devastator on this. I don't know if they came with the individual booklets, because I can't find any. I also have all the file cards. Actually, I couldn't locate one of them, but here are some of them. They're just like normal file cards. Some of them have holes punched in. I'm not really sure why. The retailer must have done that. So they are, I can never remember all the names. This one's Bone Crusher, Scrapper, Scavenger, Long Haul, Mixmaster, and Hook. Now the coloring on the package is a bit different. Like Mixmaster, they had this piece being gray, but you can see it released as green. And in different regions, like in Europe, I think these were orange. So they do vary. And then in the Devastator picture, these there's arm pieces that are black, but they're actually purple the way they shipped. Of course, not that I need to show too much basic Transformer stuff, but of course they all came with, you know, this, so you can read the stats there on the file cards. I also have this Devastator iron-on patch. There was a time when they stuck patches in the toys, just random figures. So let's see how well I can do this. I'll try to do this as quickly as possible. So these two are the legs, these two are the arms, and then these guys are the middle. The toughest part really is getting this piece inside long haul. So long haul folds forward. I'm always afraid to force things. I don't know, maybe I need to pull his arms out a little. Some things just snap, and yeah, I'm always afraid I'm gonna break something. So this is the tricky part. You need to have this open a little, but you gotta get that in there and snap it in place. But it's hard, you know, you kinda gotta do it all at once. Alright, that went good. None of these really require much. I think the other ones are a little more complex, maybe. Although, they all connect to Essentialbot, whereas this needs, you know, all these separate plastic pieces to do it. He doesn't always stand all that well. I gotta have these arms positioned good to keep him balanced. Yeah, I probably should have practiced a bit more, but let me see if I can remember how all these things go together. Alright, his head goes on this piece. And that's where the connections are gonna go. So then these little nubs are where the arms go. There's not much to it. He's got just a piece that pulls out here. Yeah, it goes on underneath this piece. And I gotta keep it straight. So then the hand pieces are a little tricky. They're not that stable. They spin. And I should point out they do launch. So you just press the button. Yeah, it doesn't go very far. But I am missing the pieces. I'm missing is one of the hands and one of the drills. They give you a few accessories. So you can substitute a drill for one of the hands. So that just has a piece right there at the bottom. And yeah, that's the front where the hand would go. It'd be easier to attach it first, but alright. Every time I push on something, I mess up the arms. It'll stabilize his foot down there. And he does have a weapon, of course. They all have lots of accessories. That's most of it. And then what I'm missing, I have this piece, and then I'm missing another piece that goes underneath this. You can kind of see it there. It's just a green piece, like a shield piece, just to make the front look a little better, I guess. I guess just to cover up this section, it would, look bulkier here. And that is Devastator. So, fairly easy to put together. And none of them are really that hard. I'll show you the instructions on the other ones, and they're very simplistic. Alright, so I'm going to move on to the next one now. Alright, so on the table now are the Stunticons. Now, I forgot to mention, I believe, in the Constructicons that those came out in 1985. Everything else I'm going to show is from 1986. And you can see here I have most of the packaging. So these are where the carded figures, all the cars here. And then Motor Master, which is, you know, a truck similar to Optimus Prime, only a lot smaller. He would have been a box toy that, you know, came with a regular full-size manual. So these I didn't cut up. I even have the plastic bubble to this one still on the card there. And we have here is Dead End, Breakdown, another Lamborghini Countach. There's a few of those in the Transformers. Wild Rider and Dead End. And you can see it in these pictures too, like the Constructicons, there's different colors. These are more pronounced though. Like this is more of a maroon, although in the picture it looks red. And then this guy has stripes on the front of the car. In fact, it looks a little longer even. The stripes, there are stripes on the side, but in this picture there's a Decepticon logo on the side. So I guess, you know, these are preliminary and they changed before they went into production. And these also have the it's a little like symbol that you rub. Like he's on here, it's on the top of this one. This is something they introduced at some point where, I mean, you know they're Decepticons, but I guess it's supposed to be hidden because they're in disguise. So you're supposed to rub it, and yeah, it's probably not going to be easy to see, but it turns into a Decepticon symbol. These all have guns attached to the back. They're just accessories that come off. I think, you know, they look better without them. They're not part of the larger robot, which is known as Menasor. So as I mentioned in the other ones, these all, in the Constructicons section, these all came with manuals. So all the little ones came with this manual here that shows you how to build Menasor. But it's also I mean, you have to own Motor Master to do it. I guess if you lost the manual, you'd be okay because you have so many. Because his also shows in a larger photo how to do it. And so we'll leave out here. So I have these set up. So these are the arms, these are the legs, and Motor Master is the center. So you have to start with Motor Master and get it all set to where the attachments need to go. They don't really show you the other steps. They just show you a picture with some arrows. So hopefully I can do this without messing up too much. Alright, these snap first. See, that's his head, Motor Master's head. There is a head attachment though. These look weird. They fold back. And they're always going to look weird on Menasor if you look at his back, because they just stick out like out there. Not much you can do. There's nowhere to hide them. Alright, I think that's everything. He's one of the slightly smaller ones. They're all kind of in the 8-inch range. Some are a little bigger, some are a little shorter. Well, at the end of the video, I'll stand them all up next to each other so you can see. So then, these also have feet accessories. So the actual Decepticon doesn't act like the foot as it did with the Constructicons. Then essentially their heads are the attachments. So you gotta like fold back the front ends of the cars to get to the heads, which fold out. But in this case, I think it stays straight. It's the arms that you need to bend, but yeah, the head's the attachment. It's basically the same slot that held that big gun is where they attach to these. They're not centered on the feet though. They do overhang a bit. Yeah, I've got this backward. It's the bottom of the car that faces forward. And They just easily snap right in. Much sturdier. Pretty much most of these are sturdy. Well, okay, not most. 3 of them. Like, well, I mean, Devastator's okay, but the Aerialbots guy, I don't like his legs too much. They're a little wobbly. You'll see that. I think I'll do him last. Alright, so I fold this guy up. They do turn. I didn't show that on Devastator, but like these have like a built-in piece that turns much easier than Devastator. Of course, Devastator being the first, is built differently, as I already mentioned. He used 6 spots, so it's a little. I mean, I think they went the better course making them 5 and having a solid centerpiece. I don't have any Predacons. I don't even remember those too well. I don't know if 86 was when I stopped collecting, but I mean, I have some. I don't have anywhere near all the Transformers. I have quite a few, but not a huge amount. Now, there's not too much else here. This guy is really easy to build. He has this little roller car. It's sort of like, you know, Optimus has a little guy too, bigger than this, but his trailer doesn't open, so this car can't actually go in it. So that's the type of piece I was missing on Devastator. It's just a centerpiece. Shield, they call it. Blast deflector. It's got a cyclone gun. You can put the accessories in either hand. Like, here they picture the gun in this hand, but on the box they do the opposite. Really, I don't think it matters. Sword looks cooler anyway. It's a little like a Voltron sword. So the head attachment, kind of a small head. The other guys have larger heads. I think this guy looks a little funny, probably because the shoulders are way up here above his head. So there you go. Like I said, these stick out, so they look strange, but not much you can do about that. I think I could have put this hood slightly better. Or maybe not. Like that, I guess. Oh, now it bent him. There you go. All of them have these kind of feet accessories, you'll see. All the remaining ones, anyway. Alright, so that's Menasor made from Stunticons. On to the next. And here are the Combaticons that form Bruticus. I'd say this is probably my favorite one of all of these. He just looks really sturdy when built, and he looks cool, and this is probably the strongest. Has a nice head. Although the Aerialbots guy I don't like too much, but the Aerialbots guy Superion has a cool head. Plus the helicopter looks great. It's on the side of his arm. He'll have blades. So let me go through their names. I do have, again, all the cards for these with a little bubble part on this guy, the helicopter. And again, all $4.99. I don't know how much this one costs, but the centerpiece I'm sure costs more like a regular Transformer, probably closer to $10. So we've got Swindle, Brawl, Vortex, Blastoff, and Onslaught. And I have the attachments on them, so they look a little funny. I think they look better without the guns, but I put them all on there. Like, the tank doesn't really need another gun, but there you go. And as I've been pointing out, some of these pictures differ a bit. This guy looks like he's probably a little lighter in the picture. I don't think he has the purple highlights. And in the picture, these green parts are yellow. Maybe the only difference is here. I am missing a side gun that can attach to this. And this ramp, it's not part of Bruticus. It's just another accessory to Onslaught that you can build him or set up a few different ways. I like to put the helicopter on the back, but you can also put the space shuttle or do whatever you want. Probably does look better with the space shuttle because of course that's not going to fly around as easily as a helicopter. But let me just remove all the gun attachments. I think they look cooler without the added accessories. Or, well, they look more like a regular vehicle. Plus we don't need any of the add-on parts for Bruticus. Although this will go on his back, but just get it out of the way for now. Again, the little booklets that came with each one of these, and Onslaught's manual. So open for reference because I'll probably forget how to do this. Not sure if you want to try to follow along. I'll keep it in frame. I'm trying to do these as quick as possible though. So of course you don't want to get Onslaught set up for everything to connect to him. So I think that's enough for his legs. Now there's his head, but of course he gets the attachment. And that looks like first step. So we can attach, basically, you can really attach anything in any order as far as the feet and arms. This needs to open up though. Alright, these hands are actually labeled left and right, but it's easy to know where they go because the hole's only on one top and it's hollow on the inside, so it's pretty easy without that label. No, don't need to do that. His head's up here. Get there. Doing that backwards. I think that's right. Yeah, the underside sticks out on this side. And I messed up and shoved his head back in. Alright. Get a better look at this. Sorry if I pull them a little out of frame, so it's easier just to hold them close. And I'm not quite seeing what I'm doing here. I think his legs have to come out. But not sure why they did that, because I don't think we need them out. I show them folding, but I guess they're folding them back in. Alright. Foot. Let's use this foot. You know what? I've got them backwards. That. There's actually two holes on the bottom of him, so it can go either way, but alright, so then Jeep was Swindle. His head is under here. There you go. He looks much bulkier. He's bigger too. I think he's a little taller than most. Except for the Aerialbots guy I keep bringing up. Okay, the head goes on here. He's got a large gun. And I have it upside down. And then this just goes back where it was. Yeah, I think he's the second tallest next to Superion, but we'll see at the end. Alright, that is Bruticus of the Combaticons. So here are the Protectobots that form Defensor, and you're probably seeing a pattern emerging if you are watching in order. I do, once again, have all the cards for these. Unfortunately, I guess I just didn't keep them for the Constructicons, but I used to throw away packaging, I guess, back then. And the central piece here is a fire engine. This is the second fire engine Autobot. The first is Inferno, a red fire engine. This guy's blue. And I do have the gun accessories attached to these again, which I will just yank off. I don't know, I just put them on there so you can see them. Now, Hotspot, the fire engine, his guns that go on the side are actually also the guns that Defensor holds. So let me go over their names. Got Blades, First Aid, Streetwise, and Groove. Of course, Hotspot. Okay, let me see any differences. I don't think these guys, nothing noticeable anyway. Looks like the image is fairly accurate. I do have a problem though with this one, which you'll see at the end, is these. I didn't lose anything, it's just mine didn't come with the correct pieces, unfortunately. I got two of the same shield piece, and I can use them, I just have to go upside down it, so, you know, it's not how it should be. So they all came with, of course, a booklet. Just get that out of the way. So it's a rather big manual here. See if I remember how to do this. This guy actually doesn't have a head attachment. He's the only one without it. It's underneath the ladder here. You'll see in a minute. These are a little tight to yank out. So the ladder spins around, and his head is in there. I think this goes something a little different. I think I'm doing wrong here. Yeah, his head goes here. Yeah, it slides up there. Yeah, I believe that is how he goes. So pieces need to connect to the nubs though. Alright. So got the feet over here. I've got to determine which foot is which. It's because they're not even. And it's in the center, so you know, and the little thing's always off to the side. His head's right down here. Alright, this might be a little difficult to get out. Yeah, it's hard to spin this one around. I don't think I can get it actually without grabbing a tool or something. I don't think I have nails to get in there. He's really tough to get out. He's tight. Alright, quick edit. I'm gonna have to go grab a tool to get this guy out. Alright, I'm using a Swiss Army knife to pop his head out to attach. It's in there pretty tight, and it just wasn't a great way to grip it. His arms need to be out a little bit. At least they're showing them out in the picture. Nice, you can snap them back in once, as far as they go anyway, once he's attached. Head sliding back a bit. Alright. And the arms. Just gotta snap up and get it cloud a little. Yeah, I gotta pull them. There you go. His head's up here. Alright. He is this arm. Yeah, see, I don't know why those other ones are labeled. These aren't labeled either, because it's not necessary. So they have these blades folding up. I think it probably might look better with the blades out. They just kind of dangle there on the side. Let's see here. These open up. Alright, now the front pieces. I think that goes in there. Yeah, just kind of snaps in there. Like I said, these, unfortunately, I got the wrong ones with the thing. I got two of the same when I bought it way back when, so you know, Hasbro ruined my childhood. So yeah, this is supposed to go like that, but I'm gonna just put this one on upside down because it's and it'll hold, but yeah, it's just best I can do since they gave me the wrong thing. And that's it. So that's Defensor. Yeah, they actually show these pieces open too in the picture. I don't know why. They don't on the packaging here, but in this they leave them open. But like I said, they also leave these blades like that, but you know, could look cooler like Bruticus has his blades, but they opt to have them just hanging there. Alright, one more to go. So here are the Aerialbots that form Superion. These guys are a little different in that the Autobots didn't have a whole lot of jets. They're mostly ground vehicles. I think these guys were designed to fight the Combaticons, whereas, and I think, you know, the Protectobots that make Defensor are meant to fight the Stunticons who make Menasor. I don't know if it really matters who fights who, but I think that's kind of what the toy design was. So I mentioned this guy has a cool head. I do like this head probably the best out of all of them. This ramp is just part of Silverbolt's many transformations or whatever. Because these big guys also tend to have, I think they have two different formations, a robot and some other kind of base-like formation. So don't need that for Superion. Let's see what we have here. As I mentioned, Silverbolt, Air Raid, Skydive, Fireflight, and Slingshot. And I know I keep studying them for see if any changes are made before production, but I'm not seeing anything too obvious. Alright, this guy might be a little trickier than the others. His legs, I just think, are the worst legs. They're just not sturdy. He's like, they're thin and long. So I think he's the tallest one. They just don't feel too sturdy. He's a little wobbly. Alright, they consider transforming him as step 2, but I prefer to put the big guy in the correct formation first. That's his head, and then the other one goes on top of it. His legs are just the tricky part here. I spin around. Yeah, they come out too. I believe that is how he sits and gets all the attachments. I guess this just kind of sits back there. Alright, I'll start attaching. Got the feet over here. These guys are pretty basic too. I mean, all of these are. I can get the right foot. Alright, Fireflight is on the left. And Fireflight, I think, is the one I'm holding. I can't remember their names. Yep. Better remember G.I. Joe names, but even then I think they're starting to fade a bit. So, I think this would be his leg, his foot. And yank that right off. Alright. Just pops back in here. Yeah, it's not supposed to come off, but it's not broken, it's just forced it a bit. Tight to get in, and I push that down. Yeah, I don't know this guy's head. There we go. Twisting him a little out of proportion here. Yeah, he's gonna be wobbly, like I said. I know he's just loose, or just always that way regardless. Yeah, the arms. These hands are labeled too, like as Bruticus, the Combaticons. They label the left and the right. So I think they were designed kind of at the same time. Right, Skydive is the left arm. And I think this guy's Skydive. Nope, that's Air Raid. Yeah, so he is this arm. Yeah, I guess I gotta move this first. This gun is called the Electrostatic Discharger Rifle. He's so, I know I keep saying it, but he just doesn't stay where I want him exactly. Alright, so this goes here. This piece goes on here, I believe. Attaches to the bottom of it somehow. There. He's very creaky, and the cool head. He's like, oh, there he is. Superion. Definitely tall. and the lousy legs. Piece fell off. Alright, so next up I'm going to stand them next to each other. I'm going to change the camera angle. I'll do some comparisons with other Transformers so you get an idea of just how big these guys are. Which really isn't too big. Okay, here they are standing next to one another. Though he's a bit farther back as a Superion behind the line here. So I want to do some size comparisons with other Transformers. So here's a ruler. It is about 1/8 of an inch off the table when it starts, so there's a 12-inch ruler to give you an idea how tall they are. Like I said during the video, they're around 8 inches, like the smaller guys. You've got easier to look at this side. So 8-inch marks right here. So these guys up front are about 8, and the other two are closer to 9. And scale is always a strange thing with Transformers because you can only make the toys so big. I mean, you'd think there'd be a great crossover with G.I. Joe, and I may try to put together some battle scenes, but scale just throws you off because G.I. Joe vehicles are huge, and these guys really aren't even that big. So, like if you look at Optimus Prime, who's a big, pretty big Autobot, these guys aren't that much bigger than him, and they should really tower over him. I mean, they tower over Bumblebee, but even in a cartoon, they'd be a lot bigger, like where they could step on him. It's kind of how it is in the video game Transformers Devastation. If you play that, you'll encounter Devastator really early in the game, and you can really get a better idea of just how big he is. Even Dinobots are on the small side, not transformed into robot form. Here's Grimlock. And there's Soundwave. Just put him on the other side here. He's a fairly tall guy, bigger than Optimus Prime. But still, I mean, these combiners are supposed to be gigantic, so yeah. Toy form, they couldn't make them all that big. They'd basically have to make, like these are, obviously vehicle or cars. The cars would have to be at least in line with the standard car size. So, if like a Sideswipe or like a Prowl, who I showed in the case earlier, they're bulkier. More like you have to be more like 5 of the centerpiece type guy to at least get a better idea. But even then, they wouldn't be as big as they should be. Who's surprisingly tall? The guy you'd think would fight Soundwave, the Autobot Blaster. Look at this guy. He's as tall as anybody here. Pretty much the same height as Superion. Okay, I got a couple others. This guy's, they're more bulk than height though. Like here's Metroplex. Again, a little bit taller, but he's more just a hulking force than a huge guy. And last comparison, good old Constructicon. I didn't even test to see if he still works. I'm not going to turn him on. He'd get his own video to show off anything else. But that's him standing up. So yeah, he's taller than everybody else I've got, but still not gigantic. He's also in some of the video games. I don't know if he's in Devastation. I can't remember, but he's in I think the third part of High Moon Studios Transformers game. And yeah, he dwarfs these guys. So yeah, toys, scale of toys just never really works out exactly how they should be in other media. So, but they're still cool. It's nice to put together a bunch of little robots to make one big one. So that's 5 combiners. Like I said, I don't have the Predacons, so I think is the only other combiner, but I could be wrong. I didn't keep up. I looked some stuff up just for Generation 1. I don't know what the other later toys have, but I'm just speaking here for Generation 1, which is all I played with. So, thanks for watching.